Thank you. Unmute হয়েছিল. Thank you so much once again actually for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Now, can you see the screen, everyone? Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how many participants? Almost 67, 68 participants. Okay, it's increasing. Tell me at the beginning, how are you today? Is everything okay, or you actually had an average day? Would you like to share something special about today, about this specific day? Anyone? Because I can see a lot of participants actually, and that's amazing. Is there anyone who'd like to share something special about this day, or it was an average day like the other day?
Facebook.
A lot of participants. So are they able? Yes, Ashraful Sunny wants to say something, Ashraful. So you can unmute your microphone and then speak. আচ্ছা, আমার মনে হয় মাইক্রোফোন গুলি আনমিউট করা যাচ্ছে না খুব সম্ভবত। হোস্ট যদি একটু অ্যালাউ করতেন।
Okay.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. This is Ma'am Ashraful, and nice to meet you, ma'am. The day is very special, but you know that every day is special for every person. This day is very special because now we are finally or officially started the courses of the digital marketing on this day. So that's the reason I think for this reason I think the day is special for me. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful idea, Ashraful. Yes, of course, each and every day is special to someone in some way or the other. That's absolutely right. But I would like to suggest you one specific thing, Ashraful, because you can speak quite well. That was a lovely introduction regarding the question, lovely response regarding the question that I've just asked. But one specific suggestion for you, Ashraful, whenever actually we are, you know, mentioning our names, and if we have MD before that, well, we can't say MD, Ashraful. And it's not only for Ashraful, actually, it's for everyone. Whenever we have an MD in front of the name, well, we'll have to say orally Muhammad. We can't say MD. You know, if we say MD, then orally it specifies a certain position. Okay, it's a certain position. For example, managing director. So MD refers to managing director mostly whenever we, you know, orally mention this. So we would try to avoid that. I think you got the point, Ashraful, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I don't have the knowledge of this. I just used it originally because that every time I have to write it that MD Ashraful. So that's why I just call it MD Ashraful. But my name is Muhammad Ashraful.
I understand.
Okay,
but whenever you would write, you would definitely write MD. Well, the way it appears in the certificate, but I'm talking about the oral speech, you know, whenever we are mentioning our names orally in front of someone officially, then of course we can't say MD, we would say Muhammad, but whenever we would write, obviously we would focus on the way it has been mentioned in the certificate. Now, after discussing a little with Ashraful, let me get into today's topic. Well, the participant is increasing. That's wonderful. It's 100 now at this stage. Wonderful. Well, as you know, that today we have an interesting topic, and it's about writing. It's about writing. Now, how many of you are there in this session today who struggle with writing? Just raise your hand simply. I want to see how many of you are here in this session today who struggle with writing, who face, you know, problems often with writing. Okay, only one, Milan Mahabubul. Great. Because I love people, you know, who have problems. Yes, Anisur. Wonderful. Shoaib, Tawhidul, Wasima. Yes, wonderful. Asif. Okay, that's great. So there are a lot of people who have problems in writing. And yes, of course, there are also some people who don't have any problems in writing. Am I right? Like Jubair, Ashfaq, and Amit. So yes, that's also interesting. And Imtiaz, Ridoy, Jafar, Jannatul Firdaus. So a lot of people probably who don't have any problems in writing skills. But well, thank you so much for responding. Those who raised hand. Well, I'm also with you. I'm also with you. Now, those who raised hands, specifically for them, I would like to mention one point. I'd like to clarify actually one point at the beginning. The thing is, well, most of us have problems with writing. How many of you agree with this? Raise your hand. Most of us have problems with writing. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. Thank you so much for responding. It's so lovely to get your responses. Thank you. Yes, most of us have these problems. And how many of you believe that most of the time we don't even know that we have problems with writing? How many of you believe that most of the time we can't even identify the challenges? We don't even know that we are going wrong. Yes, wonderful. There are a lot of people who have the similar kind of idea, who have similar ideas like me. Well, so today's session actually will be a focus on how we can develop our writing skills. As you know that I am Afroza Akhter Tina. I work as a senior lecturer in the Department of English at Daffodil International University. I'm also a certified advanced TESOL practitioner. TESOL actually is teaching English to speakers of other languages. And I'm also an e-teacher alumna of the US Department of State, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Well, I'm very much glad and happy to be a part of this session today. And believe me, I'm so happy to meet you all every month. I'm very, very happy actually to meet you all every month. Now, let us get into the topic today. Now, there are actually thousands of ways through which we can improve our writing skills. And I believe you all would say that, ma'am, we know that this is how we can improve our writing. Am I right? You know, actually, through these ways, we can improve our writing. For example, read up. Now, most of you would say that, ma'am, I know that through reading, I can improve my writing. But how many of you actually do this? That's the question. তাই না? আমরা কিন্তু জানি কার লেখা ভালো? Tell me, regarding the first point, read up. কে ভালো লিখতে পারে আপনাদের মতে? If I ask this as a general question, who can write well according to you? I mean, from your general perspective, what's the idea that come in your mind? সাধারণত কারা ভালো লিখে? প্রথম পয়েন্টার আঙ্গিকে যদি বলতে হয়, যারা what? বেশি পড়ে. Do you agree? Is there anyone who agrees with this point, that those who read a lot actually have a lot of what? Knowledge on how to write? And yes, that's absolutely right. Believe me, it's right. The concept is proved concept, you know. Different research projects have also proved that yes, the people who read a lot can write well. যে প্রচুর পড়ে সে কিন্তু লিখতেও পারে. And what's the idea behind this? Could anyone please explain? For example, if I ask this question to who? Abdul Jabbar or Hasibur Rahman? Anyone? Yes, Siddharth Chakma, would you like to share something? এই আইডিয়ার পরিপ্রেক্ষিতে যদি কেউ কিছু বলেন? Why did I say this? That those who read a lot can write well.
May I start, ma'am?
Sorry?
May I answer this question, please?
Yes, of of course. You don't need to take my permission. Just unmute your microphone and then speak. Yes.
Okay. The person who read more and more, definitely he gains, more ideas. Then he can easily write down something. And also he can write, properly. Properly he can express his opinion through writing.
Yes,
And
wonderful.
the person who, listen more, he can speak better. So,
okay, wonderful. Wonderful. I got the point, Anis Rahman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you.
That's true. And probably your focus was on the writing style, the style actually, because, you know, if I read a lot of novels, if I read a lot of fictions, even non-fictions, you know, comics, if I go through a lot of poems, you know, they give me, ideas about certain type of writing style. তাই না? খেয়াল করে দেখেন, আমি ধরেন যদি বলি প্রচুর উপন্যাস আমি পড়ি, তাহলে কি হবে? উপন্যাস 5 জন অথর কিভাবে লিখছেন, I got the idea. I got the idea after going through all their works, most of their stuffs. Usually I get the idea. I can get the idea. If I go through fictions or non-fictions, well, 5 mainstream authors, then obviously I would be able to connect the way they write. So I would be familiar with different types of writing style. So my first suggestion towards all of you will be, please read, read, and read. Read more and more. Bolen.
Ma'am, I have problem with that. I read lots of books, but I can't write. It's near about all the Humayun Ahmed's book, Jafar Iqbal and Masood Rana, Tinganda, but I can't write.
You can't write what, Bangla or English?
I am weak in both Bangla and English.
Okay, for English writing, you'll have to read English books, English magazines, English novels, English fictions.
Actually, my point is I can't get any idea. I read a lot, but when I want to write, then I can't write, and I feel nothing in my to write what I should write, how to write.
Then maybe actually you are lost with strategies, I believe. Now, if you want to write in Bangla, then the focus is different, of course, but I can suggest you something specifically for English, because today's session is about English writing, of course. So we will talk about actually Bangla writing today, rather English writing. And if I talk about English writing, so obviously you'll have to read a lot with the focus that I'm reading actually. I'm reading. Well, it could be for pleasure, of course. It could be for pleasure, but at the same time, it's impossible. It's impossible to come up with ideas after reading 20 novels. It's impossible. If you say that reading English, 20 novels in English, I actually didn't get one single idea about how to write, or I can't even construct one single sentence in English, then, well, absolutely, you were not reading actually. You were just looking at the words. So reading and looking at words or sentences are two different things. দুটো কিন্তু ভিন্ন বিষয়। পড়া আর চোখ দিয়ে দেখা ভিন্ন ব্যাপার কিন্তু। So you have to focus on this. পড়া এক জিনিস, দেখা আরেক জিনিস। So after reading 20 English novels or 20 fictions or 20 magazines, obviously you would come up with a specific type of structure, and it has been proved by several research projects. So yes, reading specifically in English, reading English magazines, newspapers, books, obviously would help you to develop your writing skills. And obviously there are a lot of other things. Welcome. There are a lot of other things, because the second point is about making it fun. Now, if I request you to, read, for example, Shishendu in Bangla, even in Shishendu in Bangla, you may say that, well, ma'am, I don't like personally Shishendu. You may simply say this. So if I tell you, to go through, for example, one of my favorite authors, Toni Morrison's novel, then you may say that, ma'am, well, to me, Toni Morrison's novels are not easy things to grab. So, well, it doesn't depend on the others. এটা কিন্তু আসলে অন্যদের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে না। আমি আপনাকে বললাম আমার একজন খুব প্রিয় লেখকের নাম। Yes, he is my favorite. For example, Chinua Achebe is one of my most favorite authors. আমি Chinua Achebe কে পড়তে খুব ভালোবাসি ব্যক্তিগতভাবে। Seriously ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা। But if I tell you that from today start reading Chinua Achebe, then, well, suddenly maybe next month you would come up and say that, ma'am, I have tried to go through Chinua Achebe, but I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't connect with the setting, with the characters, even with the words, because most of the words, are African words. Most of the words are the words that have been derived from different tribes. So we should read actually through which we get fun. যেটা আমার ভালো লাগবে, আমার ভালোবাসার যেটাতে আছে সেইটা একটু বেশি বেশি পড়া। তবে obviously the focus should be English if we are thinking of developing our English writing skills. And then creating and solving writing worksheets. So there are a lot of worksheets. They are available through different websites. And I believe that you all know you are very smart. You are currently reading. You are currently you are currently in different universities, schools, or colleges. And some of you have just completed your studies. So I believe that you all know that different websites have different types of writing worksheets. অনেক ধরনের worksheet আছে। এখন এই ওয়ার্কশিটগুলি আমরা কি করব? Why are they there? That's because we can try to solve them. We can always solve different types of writing worksheets. And believe me, this is definitely going to help you. And yes, the next point is about trying different materials, through different ways. For example, if you feel that, ma'am, this specific type of worksheet actually, doesn't give me that interest, or they don't make me happy, then you can switch to some other websites, of course, because there are varieties of materials. এমনটা কিন্তু নয় যে আসলে এইটা করলে উপকার হবে, সবাই বলেছে তাই আমার ওটা করতে হবে। It's not like that. বিষয়টা হচ্ছে যে আমি কতখানি উপকৃত হচ্ছে সেটা আমাকে খুঁজে বার করতে হবে। And that is also a very important point. I'll have to observe each and every details of my development. এই যে gradual step-এ আমার এই বিভিন্ন gradual development গুলি stage by stage measure করাটা জরুরি। And then writing letters. I believe that these days we don't write letters because we compose, and usually we write emails. If we need someone, we directly call them through Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, email, Viber. If we have to talk to someone, we can also send them text messages through all these platforms. So usually we don't write letters. We don't write letters these days. But yes, you can say that, ma'am, there are some people whom we need to address formally or officially. So yes, for them actually we write letters, but they're official letters. You can say formal emails. So writing formal emails, that's also important. Believe me, I receive a lot of emails from my students, a lot of emails every day. প্রতিদিন আমি পাচ্ছি অনেক ইমেইল আমার স্টুডেন্টের কাছ থেকে, ডেইলি পাই প্রত্যেক দিন। Now, what do we see over there actually? In most of the cases, I find that, well, most of the students even don't know how to approach একটা ফর্মাল ইমেল কিভাবে লিখতে হয়, অ্যাপ্রোচটা কিরকম হবে, এটাই কিন্তু আমাদের অনেকের আসলে সেভাবে আসলে জানা হয়ে ওঠে নাই, আমি বলবো। So yes, writing official emails or letters definitely can help us improve our writing skills. And then the next point is about encourage journaling. Well, this journaling actually is not about journalism. This is about how we can maintain our journal, a specific journal, or diary. এই journal বলতে কিন্তু আসলে অন্য কিছু না, এই journal হচ্ছে ডায়েরি। এই জার্নালটা হচ্ছে ডায়েরি। যেমন আমরা ছোটবেলায় ডায়েরি লিখতাম। I believe most of you still are maintaining diaries, maybe, I don't know. So yes, maintaining diaries or maintaining journals actually can measure our progress. And today Well, I would give you an example from one of my classes regarding this reflection journal. Okay, a little bit different from this normal concept of general concept of journal writing, but yes, definitely I would try to give an example at the end. And then creating a writing space or platform. Now tell me, how many of you have a place or platform to write regularly? তাড়াতাড়ি বলেন, আপনাদের কতজনের এরকম জায়গা আছে ডেইলি বেসিসে লিখবার? Tell me, how many of you?
Facebook, ma'am. Facebook,
Okay.
WhatsApp, chat,
social media.
Social media, Facebook, chat, WhatsApp, and Aro. I want some more names quickly. Archie.
Facebook.
Ma'am, I have
WhatsApp,
the tendency to write, but I don't take it regularly. But at the time of I feel so much happy, then I write on this, and at the time of I feel so much depressed, then I write on it. And
where do you write, Ashaful? Where do you write? Where do you write?
I write on a diary.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. And Ashraful mentioned diary, and a lot of other participants have mentioned, you know, a lot of different types of platforms. Wonderful. But I'm actually not, looking for these platforms. I mean, the platform gular kotha bole nai. Is there anyone who can think of something else? দেখি তো কারোর মাথায় অন্য কোনো কিছু আসছে কিনা। আমি কিন্তু এই প্ল্যাটফর্মগুলির কথা মিন করি নাই। আমি বলছি রেগুলার বেসিসে।
Blogging?
I write every day.
Are you talking about blogging?
Okay, blogging, and one participant mentioned blogging, and আরেকজন কেউ কিছু বলছিলেন maybe?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I have a habit that what type of expenses every day, I took it my diary every day, and at the end of the month, I will know that how much money has been expenses this month. This is my habit.
Okay, so you also are focusing on diary. Okay.
Ma'am, it would be writing on newspapers, English newspaper.
Okay, so do you write regularly? No.
No, ma'am, I don't write. I am just trying to write something on English newspaper by reading it daily and drafting it. So pray for me. Thank you.
Article writing.
Sure. I definitely pray for
actually,
you. And
there is,
yes.
I don't write that much, but I can tell you some platforms that where people can write.
Yes, please do share so that your friends, your batchmates actually can be benefited.
Few moments back, I was talking about blogging. People can write beside blogging that are Pinterest, Tumblr, then GitHub, etc. There are a lot of forums, and there is a lot of helping platforms that can help us to write something.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, here I would like to stop all of you for a while. For a while, I'd like to stop all of you. And now let us discuss a little about the platforms. Why? Believe me, this is the most important thing today, which I should focus on. And I also expect that you should focus on. আজকে সবচেয়ে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় প্ল্যাটফর্ম খোঁজা, প্ল্যাটফর্ম তৈরি করা, রেডি করা, whatever you say. Now, yes, specifically we need some platforms to write. To write what? Regularly. I'm talking about writing regularly. It's not about occasional writing. You can't say that, ma'am, I wrote 15 days ago. I wrote last month. And today I'm writing after 1 month. So we can't say this way. If we are here to develop our writing skills, we'll have to write regularly. And apart from that, writing regularly is not going to help without receiving proper feedback. I repeat, writing regularly is not going to help anyone without proper feedback. সবচেয়ে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয়। আমি আবার বলছি, আসলে রাইটিংটা এমন জিনিস, শুধু যদি আমি বলি রেগুলারলি লিখে যাচ্ছি তাতে আমার কাজ হচ্ছে, অফ কোর্স নট। তাহলে কি লাগবে? Yes, we need to receive feedback. তো রাইটিং এ যার আগ্রহ তার সবার আগে ফিডব্যাকের জায়গা তৈরি করতে হবে। ফিডব্যাক, we need feedback. And in most of the cases, we miss this feedback. Believe me, in most of the cases, we miss this feedback. Sometimes we don't even bother to receive feedback. And that is the place actually where we create this huge gap. আমাদের গ্যাপ কোথায় তৈরি হচ্ছে? আমরা অনেকে লিখছি রেগুলারলি, যা খুশি যা মনে হচ্ছে তাই লিখে যাচ্ছি। That's fine, কোনো সমস্যা নাই। But where does the problem arise? Whenever we don't receive proper feedback, then we actually have that kind of feeling that, yes, well, I can write well. But what will happen if we consult an expert? So every time, whenever we write something, we need to consult an expert. একজন expert পরামর্শ, expert feedback, প্রত্যেকটা writing এ লাগবে to develop. How can I say this? Well, actually, the first point is this is a practical thing and it has been proved once again. এটাও কিন্তু বিভিন্ন গবেষণা দ্বারা প্রমাণিত that yes, to develop writing, we need feedback. Personally, from my experience, I also can share the same. I have, developed a lot through feedback. I have been developing through feedback. I have been receiving feedback from my seniors, from my teachers, from experts, language experts. And that is how I have been developing. So yes, that's important. We need to think of platforms and then we need to, engage ourselves over there. And then after writing something, we need some specific feedback so that we can revise our drafts. We can put that in front of us whenever we develop the second draft, like the way one of the participants has just mentioned that, ma'am, I prepare different types of drafts and I try to, regularly update those drafts. That's wonderful. And blogging obviously is a very interesting idea if you can. But if you don't want to be a blogger, then what can you do? Obviously, there are thousands of online platforms through which you can enhance your writing skills. অনেক প্ল্যাটফর্ম আছে কিন্তু যার মাধ্যমে আপনি রাইটিং স্কিলস ডেভেলপ করতে পারবেন, অনলাইন প্ল্যাটফর্মস। So yes, now we need to invest our time. The last point is about investing our time. We need to invest. And yes, now let us start writing from today. Let's not, waste our time anymore. Because if you want to develop your English writing skills, well, it's the right time to start. And before you start, well, we need to brush up on the basics. Don't forget to brush up. And what do I mean by this? Well, obviously, we need to have a minimum understanding of the content that we are writing, that we are sharing. খেয়াল করে দেখেন, আমি যেটা লিখছি তার সম্পর্কে যদি আমার আইডিয়া না থাকে ন্যূনতম, how would I be able to write? আর হাবিজাবি লিখলে কে দেখে দেবে সেটা? কে ফিডব্যাক দেবে? কেউ না। হাবিজাবি বলতে I'm talking about the content knowledge. I'm not talking about the structure. I'm talking about the content knowledge. হ্যাঁ, content knowledge এর কথা বলছি। তার মানে আমি একটা নভেল নিলাম, একটা উপন্যাস নিলাম ইংরেজি। For example, things fall apart. ধরেন আমি একটা নোবেল উপন্যাসের কথা বললাম, things fall apart, আমার খুব প্রিয় একটা উপন্যাস। আচ্ছা, now if I start writing on things fall apart on the basis of the interviews that I have been through, then what would happen? Actually, my writing won't be able to focus the main issues. Why? Because I haven't read the novel on my own. I have just been through the interviews. So please don't focus on these summaries. Don't read the summaries before the main write-up. আমরা কিন্তু এই ভুলটা মাঝে মধ্যেই করি। আমরা আগে সারমর্ম দেখতে চলে যাই, ইন্টারভিউ দেখি, review dekhi. We don't need to do this actually. We need to go through the original piece before writing something. And the second point, write like it's your job. So whenever I mention that you need to write regularly through a platform or through platforms, then obviously I mean that you'll have to consider that this is your regular job. Like the way we eat regularly, we sleep regularly. So I'll have to think that I'll have to write regularly. So this is my usual job, maybe. And read like it's your job also. So whenever I would write something, I would try to go through it thoroughly, 2 times, 3 times, the more I can, so that I can also brush up my own writing before the expert feedback. So immediately after writing, I'll have to actually look at that specific type of writing. What did I write actually? Where did I go wrong? Or can I find my own mistakes or errors? Or can I check these spellings one more time? Something like that. So I need to ask questions to my own self actually. Well, the next point is about finding a writing partner. Finding a writing partner. Now tell me, how many of you have writing partners? I want honest responses from you. Shotti kotha bolte hobe. Writing partner kar kar ache? I have a writing partner, not one. Actually, I have many writing partners. But how many of you have?
I have no writing partner, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Ma'am, I have also a writing partner. At the time of I'm writing something, then I show her.
My every studying partner is writing a Banglish, not English or Bangla.
Okay. Wonderful. But those who mentioned that, ma'am, I don't have a writing partner, believe me, I don't know why, but I, loved to hear your responses. Why? Because I felt that somehow today you could feel that, well, I wish I could have a writing partner. And that is why you have, expressed the honest thing. You had your honest, sharing that, ma'am, I don't have a writing partner. And that's true. Most of us don't have writing partners. আমাদের অধিকাংশরই তো নাই writing partner, এবং এটা তো সত্যি, এটা একদম সত্যি। তো আজকে থেকে কি করতে হবে? I'll have to look for a writing partner. I know that it'll be difficult, but as this Serve Human Foundation, this platform is, I think, providing you that opportunity to work together, to have group discussion, to share ideas together. So I believe from here also you can all try to find a partner with whom you can share your writings. Now, what would happen if you can connect to a writing partner, or if you have a writing partner? Ki hobe tate? Jeta hobe seta hocche writing partner thakle, you will be able to exchange your write-ups. For example, you may say, Wasima may say that, ma'am, I have written about a specific wedding ceremony that I have attended last week. I have written something about that wedding ceremony. And then I have shared that with Naeem Hussain. And Naeem tried to give me some feedback on my writing. Naeem mentioned that, well, I will have to focus on tenses. Now, believe me, if you can receive one single feedback from your writing partner, then that's going to help you a lot, because we can't rely on the experts every time. সত্যি কথা, সবসময় এক্সপার্টের দিকে তাকিয়ে থাকাও কিন্তু সম্ভবপর নয়। সবসময় আপনি কিভাবে তাকিয়ে থাকবেন এক্সপার্টের দিকে, এক্সপার্ট পরামর্শের দিকে? সেটাও কিন্তু কিছুটা ইলজিক্যাল, ইমপ্র্যাকটিক্যাল। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে কি করতে হবে? We can take help from the partners. Now, Wasima may say that, ma'am, well, Naeem also has the same level like me. Taina, it's also logical. Naeem also may say that, ma'am, if I receive feedback from Wasima, then I'm not actually that comfortable, because Masima also can't write that well. She has the same level like me. Don't worry about the levels. এই ভুলটা আমরা করি সবাই। একটু মনোযোগ দিয়ে শোনেন, আমরা এই ভুলটা করি কিন্তু। আমরা ভাবি কি আমার ফ্রেন্ড তো, সে তো আর আমার চাইতে কি বা বেশি জানে, কি বা জানে, বা আমার ফ্রেন্ড কতখানি কি বা আমাকে হেল্প করতে পারবে, কি বা তার লেভেল, তার রাইটিং তো আমার চাইতেও হয়তো খারাপ। তো এই জাতীয় ধারণা আমাদেরকে পেছনে ফেলে দিচ্ছে। So please forget about all these things. Forget about all these things, stupid things. Just focus on your friend's feedback. Who knows that your friend can rightly point out one major error in your writing. আমরা কিন্তু কেউ জানি না, হয়তো এই ফ্রেন্ড যাকে আমি আজকে ইগনোর করছি, যাকে আমি বলছি সে কিছুই পারে না, তার লেখা আমার মতন বা আমার চাইতে নিম্নমানের, সেই ফ্রেন্ড এমন একটা ভুল ধরিয়ে দিল যেটা আসলে আমাকে একজন এক্সপার্টও ধরিয়ে দিতেন। হয়তো সে নিজে ভালো লিখতে পারে না, কিন্তু অ্যাটলিস্ট পড়ে বুঝতে পারছে যে কোথায় সমস্যা বেশি। So please take peer feedback. Please take peer feedback. Peer means friends' feedback is definitely important. Taking feedback from partner, that is why is an important aspect. And the next point is about joining a workshop or take a night class, like the way you are taking a night class today. Today it's a night session. We have started at 7:30 and it's almost 8:06 now. So you are actually in this night class today. So if you can join workshops, if you can receive some hands-on training on how to summarize or how to edit or how to review, then obviously these will definitely help you. And yes, dissecting writing that you admire. For example, reading blogs or sites regular basis, like the way one of your friends has just mentioned. So reading blogs, reading sites, reading novels. I mean, the thing that interests you, reading them, and so that you can motivate yourself to write that way or to at least try that way. And then imitating writers you admire, like the way I have just mentioned that I love Chinua Achebe, I love Toni Morrison, and there are a lot of other writers whom I love actually. So I actually am a literature person. I love to read. আমি ভীষণভাবে সাহিত্য পড়তে ভালোবাসি, খুব ভালোবাসি আসলে। এবং আমার কালেকশনেও কিন্তু হিউজ বই আছে। Someday if I get the opportunity, I would like to show you. So yes, I'm a literature lover. So I love to read, but I read what I love to read. That's the thing, so that I can imitate, and somehow we imitate. আমরা কিন্তু imitate করি যাদের আমরা ভালোবাসি তাদের। খেয়াল করে দেখেন, আমি যাদের ভালোবাসি তাদের রাইটিং স্টাইলের উপর আমার কাজ করবার আগ্রহ তৈরি হয়েছে। Even the first research article that I have published was on Chinua Achebe, যার কথা আমি বললাম, যার সাহিত্যের প্রতি আমার অগাধ ভালোবাসা, তাদের প্রত্যেকের উপর কিন্তু আমি একটা করে কাজ করেছি at least. So this is how we imitate, we admire them, and that's also important. তাদের ভালোবাসা আমাদের কাজ করতে বাধ্য করে কিন্তু। Now the next point, remember outlines. That outlines are your friend. So yes, outlining everything is important. Outlining. So whenever we think of writing, we think that we have a blank page in front of us. We have a blank page and there we need to write something. So how to write? Before writing, we should have an outline, specific outline, that we will have an introduction. Maybe after that, we will have 2 separate paragraphs. And then finally, we would come up with a concluding paragraph. So this is called outline. For example, if we are writing an essay, there is a specific guideline or outline. How to write, for example, a descriptive essay, how to write a compare-contrast essay. So each of the writing type has a specific outline and structure, and we'll have to keep that in mind as well. And then editing our work ruthlessly, editing. This is also something that we miss. সত্যি বলছি, ম্যাক্সিমাম ক্ষেত্রে দেখি যে আমরা এডিট করি না নিজের কাজটা। আজকেও আমি একটা জিনিস দেখছিলাম আপনাদের এই সেশনের আগে, একটা অনেক বড় থিসিস দেখছিলাম। থিসিসটা দেখবার সময় I felt that that specific person actually didn't bother about submitting something without editing. আমার খুব খারাপ লাগছিল ভেবে যে এই মানুষটার এত বড় থিসিসটা আমি দেখছি, ওই মানুষটা ওই ভদ্রলোক আসলে কোন রকম গরজ ছাড়াই সেটা জমা দিয়ে দিয়েছেন আমাকে। তার মানে উনি বিন্দুমাত্র দ্বিতীয়বার পড়ে দেখবার প্রয়োজনীয়তা ফিল করেননি, যার দরুন কি হয়েছে, I actually had to highlight most of the sentences with red color. এই যে দেখেন আমি বলছি যে ম্যাক্সিমাম বাক্যগুলিকে আমার রেড লাল কালি দিয়ে হাইলাইট করতে হলো, এই জিনিসটা কিন্তু it's not positive, you know, but I'll have to do that because I got the responsibility to edit that. কিন্তু আমাকে সেটা করতে হবে কারণ আমি কিন্তু ওইটার এডিটর হিসেবে আমাকে লাল কালি দিতে হচ্ছে, কিন্তু এই যে একটা লেখার মধ্যে এত লাল কালি সেটা কি রিফ্লেক্ট করে? It reflects that well, the person actually didn't go through his or her own writing even second time. উনি দ্বিতীয়বার পড়ে দেখেননি, পড়ে দেখলে এর মধ্যে at least 20% ভুল ওনার নিজেরই চোখে পড়তেন। So please edit your own writing, whatever you write, before, you know, receiving an expert feedback. And then accept that first drafts are almost always crap. So please don't rely on the first draft every time. And finally, find a good editor. The thing that I have just mentioned, that we need an editor. We need an expert actually who can go through our write-ups, who can regularly give us feedback. And you'll have to rely on him or her. Well, you may say that, ma'am, most of the time, can we rely actually on that specific expert? If it's not possible for you, if you feel that, well, it's not possible for me to have a very good connection with the editor every time, or it's not possible for me to, you know, receive that editor's feedback every time, then what to do? Then obviously the thing that I have just mentioned before this, we need to have very good writing partners so that we can give each other feedback. And also at the same time, we'll have to re-edit several times. So this is how, well, we can impress the editor, we can get very close to the editors. আসলে কি এই এডিটর এবং এক্সপার্টদের একটু কাছাকাছি যাবার জন্য দু একটা জিনিস লাগে, সত্যি কথা বলতে দু একটা জিনিস লাগে। তার মধ্যে একটা হচ্ছে কিন্তু তাদের বিশ্বস্ততা অর্জন করা। বিশ্বস্ততা বলতে আমি এই অর্থে বলছি যে যেমন ধরেন আমি যে কাজটা যত্ন নিয়ে করেছি সেটা যেন আমার এডিটর বুঝতে পারেন। এই যে আমি আজকে বুঝলাম উনি অযত্ন নিয়ে করেছেন, well, this kind of feeling actually may, you know, hamper the relationship sometime. And finally, do your research. Etar mane ki? What do I mean by this? Tell me. Do your research. Last point eta. What do I mean by this? Likhte gele research kora lagbe keno? What do I mean by this?
Hello.
Yes, please speak. Anyone?
ম্যাম সাধারণত হচ্ছে টপিকসটার উপরে নলেজ নেওয়ার জন্য যে কি বিষয়টা নিয়ে হচ্ছে লিখবো এটা সম্পর্কে ভালোভাবে জেনে তারপরে হচ্ছে আপনার হচ্ছে এটা লিখতে হবে।
Wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, we have to know exactly what the subject is, then we can write nicely. So
yes.
That's why we should do some research.
Absolutely right. And actually this research is reading and reading for specific information. যেমন একটু আগে একজন বললেন যে ম্যাম আমি অনেক পড়ি কিন্তু আমার বিন্দু মাত্র আমি লিখতে পারি না, তার মানে ওনার পড়ায় লাভ হচ্ছে না। কেন? কারণ ওনার রিডিং এর কোনো পারপাস নাই। রিডিং এর একটা পারপাস থাকতে হবে, তা না হলে যে ওনার মতো বলতে হবে যে ম্যাডাম আমি 20,000 বই পড়েছি আমি একটা শব্দ লিখতে পারছি না, কিন্তু এটা কিন্তু সত্য না। মানুষ পড়লে লিখতে পারবে, এটা কিন্তু গবেষণা দ্বারা প্রমাণিত। তো কাজেই রিডিং শুড হ্যাভ আ পারপাস। I'm not saying that you can't read for pleasure. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you can't read for pleasure only. Of course you can read for pleasure, but even well, that also has a purpose. যেমন ধরেন আমি এটা বলছি না, আবার এটা ভাববেন না আপনারা যে ম্যাম তাহলে কি আমরা আনন্দের জন্য পড়বো না? অফ কোর্স আনন্দের জন্য পড়বো, কিন্তু দেখেন সেটাও তো একটা উদ্দেশ্য, আমার আনন্দ আসবে তাই। আনন্দটাকে একটা উদ্দেশ্য না, অবশ্যই ইট ইজ অলসো আ পারপাস। তো আনন্দের জন্য পড়ছি মানে আমি সব ভুলে যাচ্ছি তা কিন্তু নয়, আমি তো আনন্দের জন্য অনেক কিছু পড়েছি, সব যে ভুলে গেছি তা কিন্তু নয়। At least I can't remember, of course, most of the things, but at least I can say what is the writing style of Shishendo, how actually Humayun Azad sir wrote, how I found, you know, Moitri Devi interesting. দেখেন আমার কিন্তু আসলে অবশ্যই ডিটেইলে মনে নাই, ম্যাক্সিমাম কিছুই হয়তো মনে নাই, কিন্তু তারপর আমার এতটুকু মনে আছে যে আমার ভালো লেগেছে মৈত্রী দেবের স্টাইল। মৈত্রী দেবীর লেখা আমি পছন্দ করি। আমি জানি যে আমি শীর্ষেন্দুর স্টাইল আমার কোন কোন জায়গায় খুব বেশি ভালো লেগেছে, কোন কোন জায়গায় হয়তো অতটা আকর্ষণীয় মনে হয়নি আমার। আমি জানি যে হুমায়ুন আজাদ স্যারের কোন কোন শব্দের ব্যবহার আমাকে ভীষণভাবে আন্দোলিত করেছে। So yes, of course, I read all those things for pleasure. আমি কিন্তু এসবই আনন্দের জন্য পড়েছি, এগুলি আমার প্র্যাকটিক্যাল জীবনে আসলে সেইভাবে কোনো কাজে লাগবে বলে পড়ি নাই। শীর্ষেন্দু না, মৈত্রী দেবীও না, ইভেন হুমায়ুন আজাদ না, কিন্তু তারপরও কিন্তু আনন্দের জন্য পড়েও আমার এতটুকু মনে আছে। So each and every reading has a purpose. Now, it's your turn to ask me questions, but before asking, I would request all of you to think actually how you can write and how you can receive feedback. So what's your observation regarding that? Yes.
Ma'am, what was the number 5? I missed it.
I will share that later, but it's not about actually the specific number, Wasima. It's about the way actually we look at things. এটা আসলে ওই নাম্বার অনুযায়ী কি করতে হবে আসলে তা না, অবশ্যই সেটা না, কিন্তু ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যে আসলে আমরা নাম্বার দিয়ে আইডেন্টিফাই করবার চেষ্টা করেছি যে আমরা স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ এভাবে এগোতে পারি। কিন্তু এখন যেটা মূল বিষয়, আসলে এই বিষয়গুলি আমরা অনেকেই জানি। Most of us are familiar with all these things. Now tell me how you can start and how would you like to develop. আমাকে আগে সেটা বলেন যে আপনারা কোথায় লিখতে চাচ্ছেন এবং কিভাবে লিখবেন। Just share your ideas.
But actually, we have to practice every day, at least one page writing practice. Any topics, what I think. And then every day
Yes.
we should read more and more in daily newspaper, English newspaper, and then we have to write about the brief of these topics. Then we can improve our writing skill. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, but then Noor Hussain mentioned probably writing at newspapers, but writing at newspapers is not an easy thing, Noor Hussain. Newspaper e লেখা কিন্তু খুব একটা প্রাইমারিলি খুব একটা সহজ না। প্রথম দিকে একটু বেশ বেগ পেতে হবে, কারণ একটা স্ট্যান্ডার্ড থাকতে হবে লেখার। তো এখন আমরা সেটা বাদ দিই, আমরা যদি প্রাইমারিলি চিন্তা করি, would you like to, you know, would you like to approach me actually to share anything specific with you, or do you think that you can write actually or do you have a common platform, by the way? Just tell me that. Can you write over here in this Sir Human Foundation Facebook page? I believe here you can write.
Yeah, ma'am, we have a common platform and like a secret group, WhatsApp group, and Facebook groups, so we can do right there.
Okay, so that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now let me share one thing. Well, I actually have a plan, you know, to continue with this writing skills even next month. So in that case, do you want me to share something specific with you so that we can, you know, have a kind of follow-up activities? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am, it will be good.
Would you like me to actually come up with some specific feedback for you in the next session, probably next month?
Sure, ma'am. It would be good for us.
Yes, probably. I think that will be great, because if you don't have any follow-up activities, then what's the use actually of this session? Well, then in that case, let me think. And as I have mentioned, that I would share an example from my own class today. And the thing is, my fresher students, those who have just entered into the university, they actually have been maintaining reflection journal. well, my students actually, 40 students of mine, they are actually maintaining reflection journals since May 2021. এই সেমিস্টারে একদম নতুন স্টুডেন্ট যারা একদম মাত্র কলেজ পাশ করে যারা ইউনিভার্সিটিতে ভর্তি হয়েছেন, একদম ফ্রেশ, জীবনে প্রথমবার যারা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে পড়াশোনা শুরু করেছেন, আমার সেই 40 জন স্টুডেন্ট একটা রিফ্লেকশন জার্নাল মেইনটেইন করছেন। দে আর রাইটিং something specific since the first class. ওরা প্রথম ক্লাস থেকে গ্র্যাজুয়ালি কিছু জিনিস লিখছেন। তো সেই রকমের কোনো একটা কিছু let me plan for you as well. And I have actually a plan to share that specific thing with you probably through your page, through this Serve Human Foundation page. I would share that, and well, I would be very happy if you try to maintain that, and I would definitely love to go through some of your responses in the next session. So how would be that? Do you like that idea?
It would be great idea, madam.
It's great, man.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
আচ্ছা, তাহলে এটা বোধহয় ভালো হয়, রাইট?
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
ওকে, তাহলে আমি একটা শেয়ার করে দেব একটা টেমপ্লেট। I would share a template actually for all of you, not for all of you, actually for those who are interested to develop their writing. I would share a template for them, and they will be suggested to maintain that up to the next session. তার মানে আমরা next month যে next session হবে, আমার যে next sessionটা হবে next month, সেই দিন আমি আপনাদের সেই লেখার মধ্য থেকে 2-4টা লেখা দেখতে চাচ্ছি, এবং সেইগুলির উপর আমরা ফিডব্যাক দেব। ফিডব্যাক পরস্পরকে দেব, আসলে আমি দেব না, আমি আপনাদের কাছ থেকে নেব, আপনারা আমার কাছ থেকে নেবেন। So will that be okay? What do you think?
This is a great idea, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, ma'am. That's a good idea.
I will do.
Well, if you want to develop your writing skills, I think you should, because unless you receive feedback, it's actually it becomes difficult to develop. সত্যি কথা, feedback ছাড়া development খুব মুশকিল। I personally also had the same kind of, observation. Till today, you won't believe how much I rely on feedback, how much I rely. And one of the best, platforms through which I try to receive regular feedback is through my dean, sir, the dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences of my university. I regularly try to receive feedback from sir. সত্যি কথা, আমি খুবই সৌভাগ্যবান। আমি আসলে শুরু থেকে এমন সব মানুষ পেয়েছি যাদের ফিডব্যাক আমি চাওয়া মাত্র পেয়েছি, আর তার চাইতে বড় কথা যারা আসলে ভালোবেসে আমাকে ফিডব্যাক দিয়েছেন, এখনো দিচ্ছেন। So I'm very fortunate, and I also would like to request all of you, to please focus on this from now on. এখন থেকে একটু চেষ্টা করেন, আপনি পড়াশোনার যেই স্টেজেই থাকেন না কেন, ফিডব্যাক ছাড়া ডেভেলপমেন্ট আসলে অসম্ভব। Even if you feel that, ma'am, I can write quite well, believe me, that also can, put you in trouble in future. Who knows? অনেক সময় আমরা ভাবি যে আমি খুব ভালো লিখতে পারি, but sometimes it could also put us in trouble. For example, personally, I felt that I have developed my writing skills within these, 3 to 4 years. আমার কেন যেন মনে হয় আমার রাইটিং স্কিল, আমার লেখা ইদানিং মোটামুটি বেশ ভালো হয়, গত 3-4 বছর ধরে একটু ভালো হচ্ছে, এটা আমার অবজারভেশন। যদিও আমি কখনোই খারাপ লিখতাম না, বাই দ্য ওয়ে, আমার টিচারদের মধ্যে আমি সবসময়ই ভালো লিখতাম, কিন্তু আমার ব্যক্তিগত স্যাটিসফ্যাকশনের লেভেল থেকে বলতে গেলে আমার কেন যেন মনে হয় 3-4 বছর ধরে আমি একটু ভালো লিখছি, এবং এটার মূল ক্রেডিট কিন্তু ওই ফিডব্যাকের দিকে যায়, যারা ফিডব্যাক দিচ্ছে আমাকে রেগুলারলি, অফ কোর্স। Now tell me about your own personal observation. এবার আপনাদের নিজেদের কথা বলেন, how are you planning actually to develop your writing skills, or what's your observation after today's session or after my discussion.
Ma'am, I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, of course.
Ma'am, should we use Grammarly while writing or not?
A wonderful question. A wonderful question. Now, yes, I have a clear answer for this. Please don't look at Grammarly at the beginning. Why? Because in most of the cases, when you will be attempting exams, even for scholarships, even if you are planning to, go abroad for higher studies, there actually you'll have to attempt exams physically. So there you won't get that opportunity to check your sentences, structures through Grammarly. তাই না? খেয়াল করে দেখেন, যখন আপনি ভবিষ্যতে হায়ার স্টাডিজের জন্য দেশের বাইরে যাবেন, অথবা আপনি কোথাও ইভেন বাংলাদেশের মধ্যে আপনি যখন চাকরির ইন্টারভিউ দেবেন, রিটেন পরীক্ষা দেবেন, ম্যাক্সিমাম পরীক্ষা কিন্তু ক্লাসরুমে হবে, ফিজিক্যালি হবে, সামনে বসে পরীক্ষা দিতে হবে। কয়েকদিন আগে আমি একটা ইন্টারভিউ বোর্ডের একটা পার্ট ছিলাম, এই যে অল্প কিছুদিন আগে আমি নিজেই ছিলাম এরকম একটা পরীক্ষার তত্ত্বাবধানে। আমি একটা বিশাল টিম ছিল, তার মধ্যে আর কি আমি ছিলাম। তো দেখেন, এই যে যখন আপনি সামনাসামনি বসে পরীক্ষা দেবেন, then what would happen? Would you get that opportunity to check these sentences through Grammarly? No, তাই না? অনলাইনের কোনো হেল্প কিন্তু আমরা পাবো না। তো কাজেই আমরা Grammarly আগে দেখবো না। আমি যে টেমপ্লেট দেব, সেখানে একজনও আপনারা Grammarly দেখবেন না। No one. কেউ Grammarlyর দিকে ফিরেও তাকাবেন না। আপনারা কি করবেন? নিজের মতো করে হাবিজাবি লিখবেন, অসুবিধা নাই। Don't be shy and don't be scared of producing errors. Don't think that, well, I'm very poor in writing English, so how would ma'am react, or what would ma'am say? Don't bother about anything. Okay? I won't think actually anything. Rather, I would look at your responses as my responsibilities. কখনো ভাববেন না যে আমার এই দুর্বল ইংরেজি লেখা দেখে ম্যাম কি ভাববেন, ম্যাম কি বলবেন, কোন ফ্রেন্ড কি ভাববে, কোন ফ্রেন্ড কি বলবে, তাতে আপনার কিচ্ছু আসে যায় না। বিলিভ মি, কিচ্ছু আসে যায় না। কে কি বলবে, কে হাসলো, কে কি ভাবলো, তাতে আপনার কিচ্ছু আসে যায় না। আপনি যা বোঝেন সেভাবে লিখে যাবেন। Why? Because if you don't write in your own way, it won't be possible for you to develop. নিজের মতো আজকে গুছিয়ে না লেখার চেষ্টা করলে নিজের লেখা ভালো হবে না, আর যাই হোক। So,
ma'am, I have one query.
Yes, of course.
Ma'am, will legal writing be acceptable in next session?
What do you mean by legal writing?
Ma'am, sorry, I have to explain it. I mean writing relating to any legal concept.
Well, actually, I didn't give you a concept. I will share the template with you later after the class. So look at the template, and if you feel that you'll have to connect that with something, with a specific concept, then you can, of course. But before thinking something, you'll have to look at the template that I'll be sharing with you through this page. Okay,
ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. I believe you don't have any other questions, right? ঠিক আছে, দেখো কতজন আপনারা চেষ্টা করেন রেসপন্সের। I'll see.
We don't have any specific question, just eagerly waiting for your, the template, which we'll practice in, and we'll get the feedback from you, and in order to develop ourselves in writing.
Yes, actually, I will try, of course. I will try to give you feedback the way I can, the best I can, of course. Yes, I would share the template soon, probably by this week, by the end of this week. So keep an eye on your Facebook page, everyone. So it was nice meeting you all. I thoroughly enjoyed this session. Believe me, every time when I am here with you all, actually, I'm so happy. I'm so glad, I'm so happy to meet you all every month. It's wonderful.
We are also fantastically, happy enough of being a student of you and having some really valuable, the information regarding our problem and regarding our development. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us. Thank you, ma'am.